All right. Good evening, everyone. I apologize that we are getting started just a little bit late. But I know many of you are here for the oath of office, so thank you for joining us for that really momentous occasion. So we are going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. So I'm going to ask you first to join me for a moment of silence, and then we'll move to Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Pardon? Oh, yes. And I'm going to take this moment before we go to roll call to just welcome Cassandra, who's with us tonight to provide translation services. Oh, Cassandra, can you hold on one second? The microphone's not on there. Thank you. Oh, push the button. Thank you, Miss No.
Good evening. We are pleased to provide Spanish interpretation services for those in attendance this evening. This includes interpretation during the meeting for those who want to participate in public comment. If you're interested in these services, please visit the table outside the commission chambers or visit me up here to do public comment. Estamos encantados de ofrecer servicio de interpretación en español para los presentes esta noche. Incluye interpretación durante la reunión y para las personas quienes les gustaría hacer comentario público. Si tenga interés en estos servicios, por favor, visite la mesa fuera de la Cámara de Comisión.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, please don't yell out in the middle of proceedings and when someone's speaking. All right, next we'll have roll call.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Commissioner Moody.
Present.
Commissioner Ruppert.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor.
Present.
Commissioner Lanier. Present. Mayor Bliss.
Yes. All right, so next is, we'll move to our first opportunity for public comment, and we have a couple opportunities for public comment tonight. We don't have any scheduled public hearings, so we have the first one and the last one. And the first one is if you're here to speak on something that we're actually voting on tonight. So if you're here to speak on something that we talked about and voted on earlier today, we had a number of standing committee meetings. Now is an opportunity to come forward. We asked you to do a couple things, that you share your name, the city that you live in. We'll give you up to 3 minutes to speak, and you can follow the timer right there, and then our city clerk asks that you put your name over there on a clipboard so that we can make sure that it's correct in the minutes. So if you're here to speak on an agenda item, now's an opportunity to come forward. And during this public comment period, unlike the one at the end, I'm just going to ask you to specifically say which item you want to speak to.
Good evening, fellow citizens, fellow veterans and citizens of Grand Rapids. This is the House of the People, Watchdog Miller reporting. Going bilingual should have been a referendum. Why not Polish, Dutch, other groups that made Italian, German?
Mr. Miller, what item on the agenda are you speaking to?
Well, why wasn't it? Why was she speaking when it's not on the agenda? You know.
Mr. Miller, what item do you want to speak to?
Very sloppy procedures. We're talking about public comment, 5 and 14, okay? So if you do it for one group, you should do it for all. And just going bilingual is discriminatory. It should have gone for public referendum if you want to go bilingual. It's insulting to the groups that made so much contributions in the armed forces and so forth. Traditionally, for newcomers here, the sneakiest meeting of the year is this one, the last one. Look at 9A2, resolution approving year-end appointments to various boards and commissions. We get fascist service out here, no city buses. The motto of the Rapid Board and the dash is city buses will not be tolerated at City Hall. And who are these people you're appointing to the Rapid Board? 1 year it was 36 fascist, I call it a secret 36. Another year, a secret 64. I mean, it's totally sloppy, irresponsible, fascist, flat out fascist, craven, and illegal procedure, and failing to at least name them. You're too craven to even name the people you're appointing to these critical boards. 8.2, people should be 32 million in the last period. We should be able to, our citizens should be able to come down here on city buses, which are buried beneath wealthy. 9B6, how much still are you saying to GRCCC? GRCMC, what is that? No dollar figures whatsoever. Lucky to find a dollar figure up and down this fascist craven agenda. C4, 9C3, what is driving, creating a quitclaim deed at 271, 333 Bridge Street, an interesting area. Rapid right turns at that intersection called Stockbridge killed off the business, all sorts of buildings knocked down. Now the Hendrick, who wants to live in the Hendrick with all those rapid right turns? 4, this is very late, C4, it's already done. You're going to send 600 grand for the Ottawa Avenue extension. I already see it going through from Cherry to Oaks. Very sloppy procedure. Down on 8, why are you hiding again from the public, with Christmas and everything under C8?
Mr. Miller, your time's up.
Why are noise
Mr.
variance?
Miller, your time's up. Thanks.
City buses
Mr.
will
Miller,
not be
Mr. Miller, your
tolerated
time's
at
up.
City Hall.
Thank you. All right, anyone else who wishes to be heard on items we're voting on? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to approval of minutes, and these are the minutes from our last meeting on December 3rd. Commissioners, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right, any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. All right, next that will take us to petitions and communications.
The first one is a communication received from Kirby Killingham disputing the proposed dispensary at 2057 Division Avenue.
That is received and filed.
And communication received from Mary Alice Williams and Michael R. Williams expressing opposition to the ordinance to replace Chapter 153, Section 9.173 of the code.
That's received and filed. All right, next that will take us to reports of city officers.
First one is the city clerk submitted the 2020 standing committees and other commissioner appointments report.
That's received and filed.
Comptroller's report for the period of November 21, 2019 through December 4, 2019 in the amount of $31,937,468.31.
That's received and filed.
And the treasurer's report for the period of November 16, 2019 through November 29, 2019.
And that is also received and filed. All right, next that will take us to our consent agenda. And our consent agenda are items that we voted on earlier today, and those votes came back unanimously. So with one voice vote tonight, we'll adopt those. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right, any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to our ordinances to be adopted, and we have 2 ordinances tonight, and we have one ordinance that was an add-on, so momentarily I'm going to ask for a suspension of the rules. So we'll start with our first ordinance tonight.
The first ordinance is an ordinance amending Section 1 of the Budget Ordinance 2019-19 for fiscal year 2020, Amendment Number 10.
So moved.
All right, Commissioner O'Connor from our fiscal committee, you want to tell us about this?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, just 2 items today. This is the one for the Traffic Safety Department is just a reimbursement for intersection improvements from the city of Kentwood for a street that we have shared ownership of. And second is a standby generator for the biodigestion project for $82,000, just to ensure that there's no power failure at that facility.
All right,
No use of contingent.
thank you. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All right, this is a roll call vote tonight.
Commissioner Lanier?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Yes.
Commissioner Repart?
Yes.
Commissioner Moody?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Mayor Bliss?
Yes. And can I get a motion to give this immediate effect?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next, Commissioners, can I get a motion to suspend the rules? And this is to discuss an ordinance amendment.
So moved.
Support.
All right, all those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, rules are suspended, and I'll ask our city clerk to read the ordinance before us.
Yes, an ordinance amending Section 4.2 of Ordinance 2019-56, establishment of a new classification, Assistant Mobile GR Director.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right, Commissioner Kelly from our mobile GR, you want to tell us about this?
I'm happy to. This is a position for an assistant director, and it's been created and it will fulfill the needs a previous position would not have. So the main components that were included in this new classification were an assistant title to reflect the level and experience expected in the position, educational preference, and probably most importantly, it will have a transportation vision instead of a traffic vision. That will allow for a broader scope, knowledge, and experience for a director position. It is being created in addition to the city transportation engineer classification.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. City Clerk, you want to remind us why this was walk-on and came to us late?
Yeah, so it got approved at fiscal at the last meeting. And in the past, that these have gone immediate, just like adoption of budget ordinances on the same day. And so the city charter only says that amendments to budgets can go the same day with a same-day reading. So this is an ordinance amendment, so it needs 2 readings. So that's the reason why. And so then with a new kind of process, it didn't get put in, that it should have been put in the hopper after it got approved there.
Okay, thanks for that explanation. All right, Commissioners, any other questions or comments? All right, this is a roll call vote tonight.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Yes.
Commissioner Repart?
Yes.
Commissioner Moody?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes?
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Lanier?
Yes.
Mayor Bliss?
Yes. And can I get a motion to give this immediate effect?
So moved?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, Commissioners, next that will take us to City Commission resolutions, and we do have one item that is an add-on tonight. So again, I'm going to ask for a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved. Support.
All right, those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. So rules are suspended, and I'll ask our clerk to read this resolution.
It's a City Commission resolution approving settlement at Hightower ETAL versus City of Grand Rapids ETAL.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right. Commissioner Lanier, you want to tell us about this?
Sure.
Or I can, you can.
No, go ahead, Mayor.
Yeah, so Commissioners, this is being brought before us, and this is a settlement in the amount of $225,000, and it resolves the matter of attorney's fees claimed by ACLU and their co-counsel. So I just want to add a little bit more information about this, just to make it really clear that while we've already settled with the plaintiffs in this case, and I think sometimes that's not really clear when we have settlements before us. But this has already been settled with the plaintiffs, and then we had an obligation to negotiate attorney fees separately in order to fully bring the matter to a closure. So what we're voting on tonight in this settlement, this settlement and us being able to settle, it will end the potential dispute, and it prevents us from any further petitions going forward. So that's what we're voting on tonight. Any questions, Commissioners? All right, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next, that will take us to our public hearings, and we do not have any scheduled public hearings tonight. So that will quickly take us to our end of the meeting public comments. So this is an opportunity for you to come and share thoughts on any other topic. Again, the same rules apply. We ask that you share your name, the city that you live in. We'll give you up to 3 minutes to speak, and we ask that you write your name over there on that clipboard where Mr. Davis is currently writing his name. All right, come on up, Mr. Davis.
Good evening,
Good
Honorable
evening.
Mayor and City Commissioners. I'm David Davis. I live on Front Avenue Northwest at 10th Street. I'm in a low-budget income housing unit and enjoy the participation in the Grand Rapids enterprises of the City Commission and other ones like the Downtown Development Association. And as I spoke to the Downtown Development Agency, their Board of Directors meeting this week, there were a number of people that were starting new businesses up on Monroe Center. And it came to my attention that I travel around downtown a lot by foot. And I've been going up and down Monroe Center, and it's become a place that people have transited from the Division and Weston area over to Monroe Center. And these people are creating a problem of litter and creating an unreasonable association with the people that travel that area as far as guests from other places. And the mayor was at the meeting, so she knows about this. And it's something that concerns me because originally, back in my day, we had the hobos that traveled the railroads. They had their little communities along the railroad tracks, out of the way, didn't cause any real problems. Today, those people have become the homeless people. The homeless people have decided to move into certain areas where that they can collect money from people in charity and so forth. And they also buy a lot of food from these places that is in disposable containers. They litter the Monroe Center terrifically a lot of the time. Today was one of the few times I didn't see much litter, but otherwise, this is creating a problem. And understand that it has to do with their rights as well as other people's rights. But again, if they're stepping on somebody else's rights, then we have to do something about it. And thank you for your time and consideration on this. And it's a very tight situation to deal with, I understand, but I think there's a remedy someplace. I hope that they'll look for that remedy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, others wish Barrett?
Hi, my name is LaDonna Norman, and I am still here to address the housing in Grand Rapids. And as we come to the end of the year, I want us to be mindful that there still are people out there that think they can face the winter. I actually took the bus here, and I heard a group of people saying, I don't have anywhere to go, but I have blankets and I have a cover. So we need to be mindful that there are people out there that still think they can tough this winter out. We need to be mindful of the choices, poor choices people make, such as substance abuse that would prevent them from going to a shelter. We need to put something in place where somebody could probably get some kind of help in place at the homeless shelters, because we tend to get depressed during the holidays. And I think it's important that we show the support that these parents need during the difficult time. And we have a lot of work to do next year. And I'm going to be here with you, and I'm going to be here reminding you that there are people that need you, and we can't resolve homelessness with 375 square foot apartments for $800. That's saying that people are going to try to be subleasing the leasee, and it's going to get confusing and chaotic. So let's just be mindful. And I seen a couple kids at the transit center. They didn't have hats or gloves. So maybe we could do a better job of reaching out to the community at the transit center and try to get hats and gloves in there for the young people, because when they get cold, they tend to be disruptive. And we can prevent that by trying to keep them warm and being supportive in that way. Have a great year, and I will see you in 2020.
Yeah, thanks. That's a great idea. I'll share. Hello, welcome.
My name is Art Kroon, and I have a business here in Grand Rapids downtown on Pearl Street. And I wanted to speak tonight about the parking ramp at Pearl and Ionia. And I have a handout that I'd like to bring.
Yeah, you can hand that out, Mr. Kroon. Thank you. And our clerk will make sure we get copies.
Our offices are in downtown Grand Rapids. We use the parking ramp at Pearl and Ionia extensively to accommodate our clients. We have been purchasing courtesy parking tokens for our clients for several years. Our purchase of parking tokens for our clients in 2019 will be more than $1,300. A major change was made last summer that resulted in the loss of designated 1 hour parking on the Pearl Street level, what I call customer parking. Some of our clients are elderly, some are handicapped. The handicapped spaces are occasionally full. Taking away the 1 hour parking spaces on the Pearl Street level has made parking in the ramp difficult for our elderly clients. It's especially more difficult when you consider the sharp turns they have to make to get up to the higher floors. The posted purpose of the change is to provide for downtown residential tenants. I have haphazardly gone down to level A and B to see if those levels are being used. I have not seen any cars parked on level A since the ramp was modified. My observations include Sunday, Saturday, weekdays, daytime, and evenings. The most cars I've seen parked on level B was 6, and the most cars I've ever seen parked on level C is 7. Level C is observable from the Pearl Street entrance. In my opinion, the downtown residential demand for parking at the Pearl and Ionia ramp does not exist for the number of parking spaces the city has provided. The ramp video cameras should be able to support my statement. Please consider removing the gate, separating levels A, B, and C from the rest of the ramp, and restore the 1-hour parking, customer parking spaces. Downtown residents can be assigned to other levels of the ramp in the same manner that reserved parking spaces are assigned to regular monthly parkers. Our offices are less than 100 feet from the ramp. We are monthly parkers at the ramp. We received no notice of any hearings of the proposed changes to the ramp. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
And
Kern.
I really appreciate all the work you do. It's a thankless job, and I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. Good to see you, Mr. Kern, and we'll make sure we follow up. Thanks. All right, others wish to be heard? Hi,
Good evening.
welcome.
My name's Teresa Phillips. Once again, I come to speak about the odd and even parking. Let's see, where do I want to start? We know it's necessary. We know it helps for access for the street sweepers, the trash people, the snow plowers. But I was given an application to get a handicap spot. But I was also told by the Grand Rapids Police that if anyone comes up and wanted to park there, they could if they had a handicap sticker, which was crazy to me because it takes my medical records to get that sign in front of my home for someone else to park in it. And so that doesn't alleviate the problem with the parking, not for me or not for my neighbors. Now, me and my neighbors were talking, and we were wondering if there was some way you could come up with a program, like a grant, like you have for the neighborhood improvement, the match fund, or the neighborhood improvement NIP, or the the city improvement grant, which is the CDB, because this is becoming an issue for all of us. Because we were thinking that we could match you dollar for dollar for getting a driveway put in to the people that don't have driveways. If we had some kind of a grant or some kind of funding that could help us. And this would ensure the ease of access for the street sweepers, the trash people, and the snow plowers. But it would still ensure the safety and beautification of our neighborhood. We just want to say that we're not looking for a handout. We just want you to help us to improve our neighborhood. We want our neighborhood to look as good as it possibly can. And we know that if we have cars parked on the wrong side of the street and we got built up snow, it does not look good. We understand that. But if you have more cars than you have space, there's always going to be cars on the wrong side of the street. And at this time, even though we're just now getting some real snow coming in, we have had more than 50% of our cars on the wrong side of the street.
Thank
on
you.
any given day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, others wish to be heard? Hi, welcome.
Hi, my name is Lisa. No, it's Lolita, but I like to be called Lisa Matthews.
Okay.
Our children deserve better. We need to appreciate every part of this program. Do not ignore the conditions to this lead program. Well, what she's saying is don't ignore it. Well, they telling me to say that, but I'm up here to fight for my grandson, and y'all also know that. And we appreciate what y'all is doing for us. And we just saying, don't ignore that we up here fighting for these conditions for him. We have fought a long way, and we appreciate y'all and what y'all doing for us. Because like I told my colleagues that, it's like some people ignore it. It's like you can feel a pinch. And if you pinch me, I'll feel it. But if I don't pinch her, she ain't going to feel it. And that's what I feel about the lead. It has pinched my family. And some people don't think that's important enough to fight for. They think it's a very small thing, but it's affecting our community and it's affecting my grandson. And I'm up here and I'm going to fight to the bitter end. And if we don't get these conditions fixed, I still know I mattered because I did try to fight for it, to change it. Please don't push this up under the rug and make it so hard. We have came a long way with this, and try to push this through so we can get our kids, fixed with this, with the health conditions and the housings and stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Matthews. Appreciate it. All right, others wish you heard? Hi.
Hi. All right, my name is Alex Markham. I'm coming to speak on, as a result of the Mayor's Lead-Free Kids Advisory Committee. We've been very, very thankful to be a part of that for the last year and a half. We've been thankful for the partnerships that have been forged from it, from the information that's come out, and from the priorities that have been set. We want to make sure that every single aspect of children's health as it deals with lead is a priority. We want to make sure that that work as a whole is being handed over to the City Commission, as you all know how to best implement those things and where to start. It's the same thing with city staff. We've gotten to know the city staff. We are thankful for those relationships as well. We want to make sure that every single thing is handed over to them, that they're able to take those, because when it's handed over, when it goes from being a space where we just sit and talk about it to it becomes your responsibility then. And then especially for community spaces where we're saying, like, why is this happening? Who is responsible for that? Then we have a person to go to. We have a space to go to be able to ask questions and to actually get answers, because far too often what we're met with is, I don't know, or that's not my department, or I'm not able to do that. So we want to make sure that we have a sense of responsibility and that we have a sense of accountability then, especially something that can come back to the community in a really meaningful way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your comments. All right, others wish to be heard? Hi, welcome.
Hi, my name is Sarah Edgington. I live in Alger Heights. So while going back to that memorandum, while the recommendations cover many aspects of lead, some rely on the state or the county, and we're asking the City Commission to please recognize the needs within their power now to deal with the code. Because that's a very important piece of this puzzle, is making sure that the code is enforced as it is written now, or it is updated to make sure that that it is creating a more effective way of helping families. So we're really, as a group, we're really trying to ask for accountability, responsibility, and to really focus on making sustainable changes in our code. And I just want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your work. All right, others wish to be heard? All right, thank you all for coming tonight and your continued advocacy.
How you doing?
Hello, Mr.
DeAndre
Jones.
It's the first time I actually written something down, because I usually when I speak so passionately I forget to say some things that I want to say. Okay.
Good practice.
How are you, Mayor and Commissioners? DeAndre Jones here. I'd like to talk to you about my year of my journey from pitching at the Kroc Center, where I was awarded a $10,000 grant. I took kids from my program to the Kroc Center from years of work a year's work of networking and attending several meetings. I've met the architect who actually built the Kroc Center. Even heard the story from the Neighborhood Leadership Academy, which I received a certificate on how it took about 6 years from the funding for funding from the Kroc Center, and that the Kroc Center here in GR and somewhere in Indiana is the only two recreational centers that are actually that were actually built here in the Midwest, which is pretty cool to me. After attending the Forbes Summit, I was invited to pitch for $1 million in Europe after meeting the editor from Forbes. I believe in karma, so I believe that's 100-fold from $10,000 to $1 million. But I went to the Boys and Girls Club at the Southfield, and I know after talking to a lot of people that I'm ready to build my own center and put esports, a gymnasium, laundry, content studio, 3D printing, art studio, financial literacy, self-development, and several workshops that can actually help kids build the skills to actually become proper members in society and not have to be lab ratted in schools. I've met people who work with Kendrick Lamar and Diddy. I've met people who help youth play video games with celebrities. Even met some guys who can actually, if you pay $5,000, you can play Call of Duty with Snoop Dogg. It's pretty cool. Last time I checked, you need about $5,000 to get a medical license. So, hey. But just from me saying all of that, I've done a lot of networking, and I've been able to meet a lot of people. And just speaking from a kid that came from the juvenile detention, I actually met Hugh Martin Robertson, and he asked me to speak in the juvenile detention. So I'm not speaking from just somebody and actually trying to not build something, but I was that kid in the juvenile. I was that kid in placement, so I understand what those kids do. And one of the things I want to do is to try to crush the school to prison pipeline. I've rallied when the people spit on the kids out there at Denby. I was out there rallying at the Ford Fieldhouse, so I have a big heart for people. And I hope to play basketball with you guys on January 3rd. I am a baller, so hey, I'm just telling you, if you under the rim, please do not get under the rim.
I would if I could, but I'm terrible.
Not get under that rim, you might get dunked on, but I'm just looking forward to have fun with you guys and be able to give back to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones. I'm very proud of you. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. My name is Veronica Griffin, and I am here today regarding an issue that I'm having with the City of Grand Rapids, specifically the Water Department. And I brought this because I was not really prepared to speak. I was just hoping to bring this, and this is a copy of some information. Specifically, I've been talking to the city for almost 2 years about my water bill. The telephone calls have resulted in very rude, inappropriate, unprofessional comments and actions that don't basically resolve the issue. The issue is that every 3 months, that water bill goes up significantly and without any explanation whatsoever. So on November 12th, I actually went into the office there and kind of explained to them, please have someone call me. Well, I got a call that same day from someone who identified himself as Dave, and he was very rude and very inappropriate, and nothing happened. So I got home and went online and researched and found out that there is a water bill dispute form that you can request and fill out. So I called back the next day, November 13th, and basically requested that form. And Representative Leem told me that I would not be getting that form because there's no such thing, that form does not exist. And that he and his supervisor had looked all over for it, and there's no such thing. Only after I told him that I'm looking right online at page 13 of this document, then he placed me on hold for 10 minutes and came back and said, well, somebody will get back in touch with you. November 20th, somebody did get in touch with me, a letter that I received, certified, return receipt requested. There's no name on this letter. There's no title, and it just kind of speaks to that they have no intention whatsoever on either explaining this issue to me or getting it resolved. And this has been 2 years. So I spent the last month physically being at that house every single day, all day. And I went down to the basement and photographed the meter inside the house. And it is so significantly different than what they have been sending me every 3 months for the last 2 years. So I kind of outlined that in this letter. I also took this letter over to the Parks and Recreation Department because I felt that if I took it downstairs, that they would somehow misplace it or mishandle it, so.
Thank you. If you want, if I can have a copy of that.
Sure.
That would be great. And then I see Mr. Kane in the back, or Mr. Kane, do you want to take a copy? Okay, we will follow up. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Tom Lambert. I'm the President and Legislative Director for Michigan Open Carry. It has been many years since I've been here, and it's good to see some familiar faces again. You've aged much better than I have over the past couple of years. I pulled up some articles from a long time ago, and I have a lot more gray hair now than I did then. Almost 7 years ago, almost to the day, I came to the Grand Rapids City Commission to point out an illegal firearm ordinance to the city and suggest that the city fix that ordinance to comply with state law. Because whether you're an individual, whether you're the city, I think we all agree that we should be following state law. We all want to comply with state law. 2 years of attending city commission meetings, lots of back and forth with then Mayor Hartwell, absolutely no progress at all from the city. I decided that the city was not interested in following the law, and that became pretty clear over that time. So I decided to spend my time doing other things. Since then, I've been working with the state, writing many statutes that are in law, it's state law today, repealing other statutes. Some of the stuff that I've written, you've even enacted in your ordinance. That brandishing definition, that's definitely one of those. And all of a sudden, a couple months ago, I see the city of Grand Rapids is going to fix its weapons ordinances. Finally. And you know what? You're even getting rid of all that old stuff that was illegal. Fantastic. Until right up at the very end, you decided to take that portion that was the most illegal and put it back into your new ordinance. That was really unfortunate. And that is specifically the provision that you added back in that will now be 9.173.1, which requires a license under a specific state act that doesn't exist to carry a firearm in the city of Grand Rapids. Now, I understand that there's licenses under that state act, but not the specific license that you're looking for. Further, there are multiple exceptions in state law that say that license is not needed. So for the city to require that license is a violation of state law. And to be clear, it's a violation of state law in addition to the preemption statute. So even if the state were to repeal that preemption statute, your ordinance is still unlawful. I also understand there's an organization called Safe Spaces Alliance that makes a constitutional argument that says, no, you can have that ordinance because preemption is illegal. Well, that argument is preposterous on its face. Article 7, Section 29 is what they base their argument on. Michigan courts have rejected that very argument for over 100 years, including in a case against the city of Grand Rapids. My hope is that you'll work to make your ordinance lawful. If anything, don't put your police officers in a bad situation. I hope we can all agree on that. I hope you will repeal 9.173.1.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good. Hi, welcome.
Hi, Russell Olmsted, West Side, Grand Rapids. I just wanted to take a moment and thank Commissioner Ruth Kelly in your last meeting here. I have a great deal of respect for public service. I have a great deal of respect for the job that all of you do. So congratulations, by the way, to everybody who won re-election. Congratulations. But particularly for you, your commitment to engagement and education and bringing the public along with you as you've served, I think is a fantastic example of how public service should be and what everybody should strive to do. So I thank you so much for your service, and I regret, it's kind of bittersweet, right? Because I think Melinda Yasasi is going to be a fantastic commissioner, and I'm so excited to see her on the commission. But I also can't stand the term limit aspect of all this stuff, because great leaders like you who have shown a commitment to public service should be rewarded by being able to continue that service. So thank you very much, and that's it.
Thank you. Thanks for those comments. Hi, welcome.
Good evening, Jolanda Howe from the Creston neighborhood, here with other members of Grand Rapids Homes for All. I'm here to echo a lot of what was just said by Russell. We want to thank Commissioner Kelly. Commissioner Kelly is my commissioner in my ward, and so I especially appreciate your dedication and commitment to the residents in your ward and in the entire city. You have never not returned my call. You've never left an email unanswered, and I appreciate that so much. And we have appreciated working with you over the last several years to do important things like pass the residential rental application ordinance and work on things like NEZs to make it, to push developers to provide more affordable housing. And we will continue to do that work. And tonight we brought you a gift because we thought you might want to continue to do that work. And actually, we wondered if you would like to join us on this side of the podium.
I have a list of things for her as well, so. Very sweet. Thank you all. Well-deserved, Commissioner. All right, anyone else who wishes to be heard?
Good evening, Commission. My name is Pablo Villavazo, student at Union High School, and currently president of the Mayor's Youth Council. If you guys may rise briefly.
There's my youth council in the
say
back.
hi.
If y'all want to stand up. Thanks for spending your night with us.
Just wanted to say two things tonight. First of all, thanks for having us. It was awesome experiencing the oath and your reelection. And another thing, I want to thank you for offering translation services. Roughly 10% of the population can't speak Spanish, so I think when you should be able to represent the people you're serving. So I really thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pablo. Really nice to have you all here tonight. All right, anyone else who wishes to be heard?
Good evening, West Dog Miller back. Great, I heard great leaders. Well, great leaders keep our city buses out of City Hall all 8 years, plus Ruth Kelly rigged an election, a rapid village election, but even before that, but before you. That's why Hartwell wanted her on this commission and passed ahead of other citizens. Hightower, I was wondering what the heck is Hightower 12? Snuck in on this fascist agenda. Hightower means HCLU, apparently. That's greatest enemy of the Catholic people. They work the Catholic schools on the corner since the late 40s on. You're going to give them $225,000. That's not on the agenda. Before that, you gave your pet pyromaniac, I think it was $1.4 million plus $225 million. Certainly, I went wrong. I mean, if you want to get ahead in the world, go up to Butterworth Hospital, build yourself a small fire. I would hasten to add, not a very small fire, but a small fire big enough to burn down half of Pill Hill, including Butterworth. So you're going to give this radical $1.4 million who refused to present his passport, lied about his citizenship initially. You just harassed to death the Vanderkoy family. I'm not wanting to, back to the police and all their pay demands, but you harassed them. Just think of sleepless nights, you cause them, sleepless months, you cause them. And 1.4, there certainly should have been hearing, okay? On this handout, I'm going to bring it back to you. The problem is Varga obsessed over $54,000. He just all sorts of useless payrolls over there on the rapid consolidated staff. It's inconsequential money, number. The total paper cost at the ramp at only $70 grand a year. They spent $50 grand alone on out-of-state Krautheimer to hire a new CEO. A search totally bypassing local expertise in programs such as my own. Riders need paper transfers and passes just to negotiate 2X. And Mr. Washington, I want to congratulate you on being the first 100 miles of sidewalks. 822 miles to go. We got 241 miles of superfluous bike lanes, but only 100 miles of sidewalks will be plowed. But a great start, and I hope you look at Lake Michigan, as I mentioned to you earlier. I'm be honored to work with you personally.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Miller. Your time's up. It's a good spot to end since you gave a nice compliment, so thank you.
I'm off my game.
Merry Christmas. All right, with that, I'm going to close the opportunity for a public comment, and I'm going to turn to my colleagues, and I'm going to start down here with Commissioner Repart.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I too want to shout out to the Mayor's Youth Council. I got to spend a little over an hour with the first warders last week, and they were so knowledgeable about what's happening in our city and asked such great questions. I normally, since our last meeting of the year, I have some stats. Our shortest meeting was 34 minutes. Our longest meeting was 4 hours and 12 minutes. And we had over 200 more public comments this year than last year.
Wow, what are you over there? You're just
Doing math. But extend my congratulations again to John, to Mayor Bliss, to Commissioner Moody. Mindy left right away. She's enjoying one of her last Tuesday nights before she has to sit here with us.
I'm sure some of you will be joining her.
That's right. And Ruth Kelly, you are just straight up one of the finest people I know. And I just want to thank you for working hard right up until the end. Last week, we were working on some stuff together, and I just appreciate how determined you are to do the right thing and to make the right decision, how thoughtful, considerate, and respectful you are. I love it that our offices were next to each other. I thank you for all the conversations that we had and all that you've taught me. I appreciate the kindness you bring to this table and also the courage that you bring to this table. And so you're a gift to me and to Grand Rapids. This is my hope for you, is that you get to read what you want.
Yes.
No more 100-page memos. That you get to eat a lot of Carl's cooking. That you get to go out for drinks on Tuesday nights. But most importantly, I hope that you feel a great sense of joy and pride in all that you've accomplished as a commissioner for the city.
Thank you. And I do.
Nice.
I too want to congratulate my colleagues tonight, those who are sworn in and those who are already here, and all of you who have come out tonight, and especially my family and my church family, who give me 100% support in everything that I do. I enjoy this work. I think it's unique, and I really believe that there's more that's going to happen. It's going to be for the betterment of our community and of our city. I want to say in reference to Commissioner Kelly, from the time that I was appointed on this commission, you did not hesitate to call me, to bring me up to speed, to share things with me. When I didn't know something, you made sure, or you asked a question, do I understood? And you made it very easy for me to sit here. I do not have the longevity as most of your colleagues have, but I do feel that meeting you, I wish I would have been here 8 years ago to have the opportunity to sit with you. Probably would learn a lot more, but I thank you. I appreciate the work that you do in the city. And I know that Joe's going to miss you as well, so hopefully he'll get a chance to go out and get some drinks with you as well. But I am appreciative of our city. We have a wonderful city, and we are accomplishing things. So when people say that we're not doing things, that's not true. We are accomplishing things. We're making things happen. And it's good to be a part of something great. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kelly.
So again, thank you everyone for coming tonight. It was so great to see this place packed for all of you to celebrate your elections. And congratulations, commissioners and mayor. Congratulations, of course, to our comptroller and our librarians as well. And I'm here to say not really goodbye, because I will be right down the street, not far from you. But I will be much more absent, and I think I need to step away because we have a wonderful new commissioner who's going to be taking my place, and I'm grateful for her victory and her previous service to this city. She has been serving for years. So to all of you, I am grateful for everything. I enjoyed also serving under Mayor Hartwell with Commissioners Schaefer and Lumpkins and White and Gutowski, and of course, you, Mayor. As my first partner, I learned so much from you right off the bat, and we shared everything. It was just an easy partnership, and that has also been the case with you, Commissioner Jones. To have partners that just, it's seamless, we just communicate whenever necessary. It's just made this job a joy, and it's also brought a lot of support when we have difficult times. So I really thank you for that, all of you. You've just been great. Thank you also for coming, every one of you, to my celebration last week, and for your unbelievable gift, which I'm still like, I haven't even I haven't figured out what to do with it yet, but I will.
I'm sure it'll be something fabulous.
Yes, it will, and I'm really eager to spend more time with my family and my friends and reconnect, of course. But I really want to say, too, I'm so grateful for city staff. And I've said this before, I said it at Mary Beth Jelk's retirement, and I said it last week, but we have an amazing city staff here, amazing city. And Mary Beth said that she would put every one of you up against anybody in the private sector, and she's absolutely right. You have been so responsive, and I have been such a pest in many ways to many of you, bringing constituents' concerns to you, and you have behaved in such a professional and an honorable way, and I really appreciate that so much. I cannot tell you. And to my constituents, thank you for electing me. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. Art, you were one of them, till you moved away out of the city. But yeah, I really appreciate all of you, our appointed officials as well. Thank you for your service. And I just want to end it there because I could go on, and I shouldn't, because one of the best gifts I can give you is to get out of here at a reasonable time tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lanier?
Yes, thank you, everyone who came out. These microphones are kind of invasive when they're up here, so I keep pushing mine back. But thank you to everyone who came out and for the comments that were made this evening. As DeAndre mentioned, I am in a basketball battle.
Is that going to be televised?
No, it better not be. My team against Pastor Jerry Bishop. And I have not played basketball since 6th grade. But I'm practicing. I think I have my shot now, and I have some great, that's not it, that wasn't it. What I have learned as I've been developing my skills is that I have a lot of friends with bad knees and Achilles's and ACLs, because every time I'm trying to recruit, that's what I keep hearing. But I do have some members of my team who are in the building. Raise your hand. All right. So we're practicing, and we're going to be ready on January 3rd, Friday, January 3rd. And to enter, all you need to do is bring a gently used coat, or a new coat, if you will, for high schoolers, and or a donation of any amount to get in, and we'll be using those dollars for coats for high schoolers. And we're targeting that age group. Pastor Bishop wanted to target that age group for safe purposes, and he was talking about a number of students that they've been seeing, similar to what LaDonna Norman was talking about earlier, at bus stops and things of that nature without the right outdoor gear. So that's all you need to enter. We'll be at LifeQuest on Friday the 3rd from noon until 1:30. Noon until 1:30.
Joe, can you say
Bad knees. Bad knees. So, and then I'd like to congratulate Commissioner O'Connor and Commissioner Moody on your reelection, as well as the mayor on your reelection. Congratulations to you and the words that you shared this evening. And to Commissioner Kelly, thank you so much for your service to the city of Grand Rapids. Over the year, it has been a joy, similar to what Commissioner Moody said. I immediately felt your listening ear When I became a commissioner on this body, I didn't have the privilege of sitting next to you, but I do know what it means to sit next to, someone that's being new and sitting next to someone and they're helping you as you kind of onboard yourself to this work. Thank you for teaching and leading by example, and thank you for your thorough and thoughtful work ethic. Thanks for sharing that with all of us, and may you, Carl, your children and your grandchildren make some fantastic memories in this next chapter. Thank you.
Very nice. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I just want to start off with a sincere apology to my colleague, Commissioner Jones. I just know how much harder you're going to have to work now that Commissioner Kelly is gone.
Are you kicking him?
But I think that's the hallmark of Commissioner Kelly. As a former teacher, I really love people who do their homework, and I don't think there's anybody that sits around this dais, elected or appointed, that does as much homework as Ruth Kelly. And so, agree or disagree, I always knew that when she came to do the job, she was always prepared to do the job to the best of her ability, and that's an admirable quality. And I respect the heck out of you for that, and I respect the amount, the heart you put into this. That you gave it your all up until the end. I think there's homework I still have to do for next meeting because of Ruth Kelly. So, but I will miss you dearly, Ruth. And I know I gave you a hard time a lot, but it's all out of love. And I know that you and Carl are going to have some great memories to make. And I look forward to catching up with Ruth Kelly over a drink to hear about all the wonderful times you've had with Carl and your children and your grandchildren.
I want to also join in congratulating you, Mayor, and my colleague to my left, Commissioner O'Connor, Commissioner Moody, on your reelection, as well as the appointment of our new comptroller and the election of our library commissioners, and of course, the election of my new colleague in Melinda Asasi. Very much looking forward to serving with Melinda. I think that we will have an opportunity to learn together as we continue the work, and I think that I know that I'm looking forward to just spending more time with her. But I have to say, Ruth Kelly, Ruth Kelly, Ruth Kelly. You said it earlier. Ruth has, in my opinion, been a powerful force to all whose lives that she's touched. You are empathetic. You value truth and justice. You're compassionate. You are fiercely loyal. And as I stated at your going away party, your name in Hebrew means friend. And you have been not just a friend to me, but a friend to many in our community, in our city. And I'm gonna miss you, friend. This is serious work and serious business because at the end of the day, I think that we all recognize that we are responsible for the lives of over 200,000 people who call Grand Rapids home. And so I don't take that lightly, and to do this with you for the last 3 years has been an absolute joy and privilege. And I can't say enough about your modeling and your work ethic and the fact that you make me better, as I stated. And I'm wishing you the best. There's no doubt that I know that you're getting a new phone number. But as you know, no matter where you go or how far you go, I will find you. I know people. Because I have a pretty good feeling that I'll need you. So thank you for just being who you are. I appreciate you. Yep.
And thank you, Commissioner Jones, for making me cry. Clerk?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
just briefly, I'll pile on, but as you're not a pest to staff. As I've worked closely with you with election stuff, so if you don't want to work with them, I'll take you as an election worker. No, it's been a pleasure for helping out as I got acclimated to the city and the election process, and we worked hand in hand as well, and sometimes helping work with different groups and being a buffer sometimes, and making sure that we understand each other and interpreting expectations, and I appreciate that. And then we are wrapping up 2019. I'm already in 2020, folks. So launching soon will be #GRVote. So we'll be coming up with that. So if you have election stuff you're going to be tagging out there, so it is #GRVote. So as you do absentee ballots and do various things, let's be united front as we're voting out there. And I know you're not going to be very far away. So thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
City Attorney?
Got that plug in, didn't you? I'd like to echo everything everyone else said, but I'd like to add to that. When I think about you, I think about words like true public servant. You're a true public servant. And like Joe said, it isn't being a pest, it's challenging us. So when I think about you, I think about how much you've challenged me, but also you've supported me, and I appreciate that. And I also think about when, you've hit the mark when you've left it better than you came. So part of my goal in life is I wanted to be better because I was present one day, and I think you've done that. And so I appreciate you, and I wish you, as Commissioner Lanier said, make some great memories. Yeah. Thank you.
City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor, and first let me thank the staff for all the work that they've done to, again, make much of what we were able to transact tonight possible. Thank you all for your deliberation over these tough issues and the public for coming out. I want to congratulate all those that were re-elected and elected and sworn in tonight. Looking forward to continue to do great things on this in this city in 2020. But I too want to thank Commissioner Kelly for her work, her support. I think as much as has been said, she is one who takes this work very seriously. She comes very prepared, both in head and in heart, and puts her all into it, and I appreciate it. I had the chance to sit up close. I guess we put the newbies next to her on the dais, the two newest people.
There's a system.
There's a process, there's a method. It must be Christmas too. Mr. Miller gave me a compliment. I was like about to fall out of the chair here. But I do want to, when I think about, we have values as an organization, and every employee attempts to live up to the values that we have defined, this body has defined as a commission. And I do want to say, when I think about our 6 values of accountability, collaboration, customer service, innovation, equity, and sustainability, you could put a picture of Commissioner Kelly next to those values, because she lives it, she stands for it, she is committed to it, and that is one of the reasons why people have such admiration and respect for you, because she is a values and principle person, and I will miss working with you.
All right, I'll keep it short. I'm just going to add, it's truly been such an honor to serve with you for 10 years. And you are like my commission family, and I have so many memories with you. And I just love you. Everything everybody said is so true. It is, you are authentic, you are kind, you are loving, you are compassionate, you are absolutely committed to justice and equity and fairness. And you're probably one of the most amazing servant leaders I have ever had the pleasure to work with. The Second Ward and our city is truly better because of you, but also your fingerprints are all over this committee, or this, not just this commission, but this city, and your legacy is great. And I am going to rope you into doing some things after you have a little rest and you travel a little bit. We have much work to do still, and I know you still have a heart to give back in really meaningful ways. And so I'm sure many of us will be calling on you. Many of us may be showing up after a commission meeting to have a drink, and we'll definitely be roping you into things that we need Commissioner Kelly for in the future. So thank you so much for your service. Yeah. Adjourned.